Security cameras caught everything. A pregnant woman bleeding on marble, her husband's secretary standing over her smirking. The crowd recorded. Nobody helped, especially not him. They thought she was nobody, a quiet housewife, weak, forgettable. They were wrong. 3 hours later, the entire city went dark. Banks froze. Cars died. Phones stopped working. Investigators found nothing. No hackers. No breach. Just one chilling message on Daniel's screen: "You should have apologized." The woman they humiliated? Her brother didn't just disappear 5 years ago. He became the ghost billionaire who could freeze entire cities with a single command. What follows isn't just revenge, it's surgical justice that turns 2 lives into a cautionary tale the internet will never forget. Drop a comment. Have you ever seen karma move this fast? Because what her brother does next will shock you. The security cameras caught everything. Bellevue Mall, Saturday afternoon. Marble floors gleaming under fluorescent lights. Families laughing. Children running between stores. Then silence. A pregnant woman collapsed on the cold stone floor, clutching her stomach. Blood pooled near her lip. Her dress soaked in coffee, stained with humiliation. Above her stood Tiffany Brennan, the secretary, smirking, arms crossed, designer heels clicking as she leaned closer. "He's mine now," she whispered. The crowd froze. Phones rose. Cameras recorded. Nobody moved to help. And her husband? Daniel stood 3 feet away watching, emotionless, silent. The woman on the floor wasn't screaming, wasn't begging, just broken. Her name was Amelia Rowan, 7 months pregnant, soft-spoken, kind. The type who smiled through pain because she believed love could fix anything. She was wrong. Tiffany had been flaunting the affair for months, mocking Amelia's baby bump in the office, calling her too soft for a man like Daniel. But Amelia stayed quiet. She believed silence was strength. Until now. Blood dripped from her trembling fingers. The mall's noise returned whispers, gasps, the shuffle of uncomfortable feet. Someone muttered, "Should we call someone?" But no one did. Amelia's eyes met Daniel's. He looked away. Tiffany laughed, a sharp, cruel sound that echoed off the glass storefronts. Then Amelia spoke, barely audible, a whisper that cut through the chaos like a blade. "You should have told my brother." Tiffany's smile faltered. Just for a second. Daniel's face drained of color. The crowd didn't understand, but they would. Because 3 hours later, the city's power grid flickered. ATMs crashed. Traffic lights died. Phones went dark across downtown Bellevue. And in a penthouse overlooking the skyline, a man they thought had disappeared years ago was watching that security footage on repeat. Ethan Rowan, billionaire, ghost, brother. He rewound the video, watched his pregnant sister hit the ground again, saw the smirk, the blood, the husband who did nothing. His jaw clenched. He picked up his phone. "Lock them down," he said. "No one leaves this city." What would you do if someone hurt your family like this? Drop a comment, because what happens next will shock you. 6 months earlier, Amelia Rowan wasn't always invisible. She used to laugh louder, dress brighter, believe her husband when he said, "I love you," before rushing out the door. But marriages don't collapse overnight. They erode, slowly, quietly, like rust. Daniel's late nights became routine, his coldness normal. The way he flinched when she touched his hand, she told herself it was stress. It wasn't. At his office holiday party, she wore the blue dress he loved, curled her hair, practiced her smile in the car mirror. When she walked in, Tiffany was already there leaning against Daniel's desk, laughing at something he said. Her hand rested on his shoulder, too familiar, too long. Amelia froze in the doorway. Tiffany glanced over, smiled. "Oh, you must be the wife." The room went quiet. Daniel didn't defend her, didn't introduce her, just cleared his throat and said, "Amelia, this is Tiffany, my executive assistant." Assistant, right. Tiffany's eyes scanned Amelia's dress, the one Daniel used to love. Her smirk said everything. "Cute," Tiffany muttered, Loud enough. Amelia's chest tightened. She smiled anyway. Nice to meet you. That night, Daniel came home at 2 a.m., smelling like perfume that wasn't hers. She didn't ask. She was afraid of the answer. Weeks turned into months. The affair became an open secret at his company, colleagues whispered. Pitied her. Nobody said anything to her face. Amelia kept showing up, kept packing his lunches, kept believing he'd remember who she was. Then she got pregnant. Daniel's reaction? A long silence. A forced smile. That's great. He didn't touch her belly, didn't ask about names, didn't come to the ultrasound. But Tiffany? She made sure Amelia knew. She sent texts to Daniel, screenshots, accidentally forwarded to Amelia's phone. Your wife looks exhausted. You deserve better. When are you leaving her? Amelia deleted them. Every single one. She told herself it didn't matter. But it did. At 7 months pregnant, she still wore long sleeves, hiding bruises that weren't from falls. She smiled at strangers, held doors open, said, "Thank you too much." Because somewhere deep down, Amelia Rowan believed that kindness would save her. She believed love could win. She believed her husband would wake up. She was wrong about all of it. Except one thing. She never told Daniel about her brother, the one who vanished after building an empire, the one who promised her, years ago, "If anyone ever hurts you, I'll make sure they regret it." She thought she'd never need him. Until Bellevue Mall. Tiffany Brennan wasn't born cruel. She learned it. 28 years old. Sharp jawline. Designer everything. The kind of woman who knew exactly how much power a smile could buy. She grew up watching her mother scrape by working 3 jobs, dating men who promised everything and delivered nothing. Tiffany swore she'd never be that woman. So she became the other kind. The kind who took what she wanted, who didn't apologize, who saw marriage vows as suggestions, not rules. When she started working for Daniel, she clocked him immediately. Successful, ambitious, married to someone soft. Perfect. It started small, late-night emails, accidental touches during meetings, compliments that lingered too long. Daniel resisted. At first, but Tiffany was patient. She knew how men like him worked. They wanted permission to be selfish, someone to blame it on. She gave him both. 3 months in, they kissed in his office after a board meeting. He pulled away, guilt flooding his face. "This is wrong," he whispered. Tiffany tilted her head. "Then why does it feel so right?" He didn't answer, but he came back the next night. And the night after that. Soon, the affair wasn't just physical. It was public. Tiffany made sure of it. She'd walk into meetings holding his coffee, her hand brushing his. She'd laugh louder at his jokes, sit closer during presentations. The office noticed. Of course they did. But nobody said anything, because Tiffany had something nobody else did. Daniel's attention. When Amelia showed up pregnant at the holiday party, Tiffany didn't feel guilt. She felt annoyed. This was supposed to be over by now. Daniel was supposed to leave her. But he didn't. He stayed, kept going home, kept pretending. It infuriated Tiffany. So she escalated. She sent Amelia screenshots, posted photos with Daniel cropped just enough to look innocent, suggestive enough to wound. She wanted Amelia to leave, to make it easy. But Amelia stayed, quiet, smiling, pathetic. That's what Tiffany called her behind closed doors. Pathetic. Daniel laughed, uncomfortably. But he laughed. At the office, Tiffany's cruelty became entertainment. She'd mimic Amelia's soft voice during lunch breaks, mock her maternity clothes, call her the placeholder. Coworkers shifted in their seats. Nobody stopped her. Why would they? Tiffany was Daniel's favorite. Crossing her meant career suicide. But there was one thing Tiffany didn't know. One detail Daniel never mentioned. Amelia wasn't just some quiet housewife. She had a last name that meant something. A brother who'd vanished from the tech world after selling his cybersecurity empire for billions. A brother who'd once told a rival CEO, "I don't threaten, I execute." Tiffany didn't know any of that. She just knew Amelia was in her way. And on that Saturday at Bellevue Mall, Tiffany decided to remove her. Permanently. Saturday morning, Bellevue Mall. Amelia moved slowly through the crowd, one hand resting on her swollen belly, 7 months pregnant, exhausted, but she needed this one normal day away from the suffocating silence at home. She browsed a baby store, tiny shoes, soft blankets, hope in miniature form. Then she saw them, Daniel and Tiffany, 20 feet away, at a coffee shop. His hand on her lower back, her laugh echoing across the corridor. Amelia's breath caught. She turned to leave quickly, quietly, before they noticed. Too late. Tiffany's eyes locked onto hers. A slow, venomous smile spread across her face. She whispered something to Daniel. He looked up, saw Amelia. His expression went blank. Tiffany grabbed her coffee, still steaming, and walked straight toward her. "Amelia!" she called out, voice dripping with fake sweetness. "What a surprise!" Amelia froze. "Hi, Tiffany." "You look tired." Tiffany's eyes scanned her body. "Pregnancy's rough, huh?" Before Amelia could respond, Tiffany's hand slipped. The scalding coffee splashed across Amelia's dress. She gasped, stumbling backward. "Oh my God!" Tiffany shrieked. "I'm so sorry! You just moved into me!" Lies. The cameras would prove it later, but right now? The crowd only saw the pregnant woman soaked in coffee. Amelia's hands shook. Coffee dripped onto the marble. Her dress clung to her skin, burning. "It's fine," she whispered, fighting tears. "I'll just—" She turned to walk away. Tiffany grabbed her shoulder. Hard. "Wait," Tiffany hissed. "We're not done." Then she shoved. Not hard enough to look violent, just enough. Amelia's heel caught the wet floor. Her balance, already thrown off by pregnancy, gave out. She fell. Hard. The sound echoed. Her body hit the marble with a sickening thud. Her hands flew to her stomach. Blood appeared on her lip. The mall went silent. Phones rose. Cameras clicked. Videos recorded. Tiffany stood over her, arms crossed, smirking. Daniel was still at the coffee shop, watching, not moving. Amelia looked up at him, pleading, desperate. He looked away. Tiffany leaned down, close enough that only Amelia could hear. "He's mine now," she whispered, "and there's nothing you can do about it." Tears streamed down Amelia's face. Pain radiated through her body. Fear gripped her chest, not for herself, for her baby. But through the pain, through the humiliation, one thought crystallized. She looked up at Tiffany, at Daniel, and whispered 6 words that would change everything. "You should have told my brother. You should have told my brother." The words hung in the air like a threat wrapped in velvet. Tiffany's smirk faltered, just for a heartbeat. "Your what?" She laughed sharp, dismissive. "Brother? Is that supposed to scare me?" Amelia didn't respond. She just stared, blood trickling from her lip, hand pressed against her belly, eyes empty of the kindness that used to fill them. Something in that stare made Tiffany's skin prickle. Daniel moved closer, finally, his face pale. "Amelia, let's just—" "Don't." Her voice was steel wrapped in silk. "Don't touch me." He stopped mid-step. The crowd murmured. Phones still recording. Someone whispered, "Should we call an ambulance?" But nobody moved. Tiffany recovered quickly. She flipped her hair, addressing the onlookers. "She tripped. I tried to help her. You all saw it, right?" Silence. Then a teenager spoke up. "No, you pushed her." Tiffany's eyes flashed. "Excuse me?" "I recorded it." The kid held up his phone. "Want me to play it back?" Tiffany's jaw clenched, but she forced a smile. "Post it wherever you want. My lawyer will handle it." She glanced down at Amelia one last time, triumphant. "Enjoy your brother," she said, "whoever he is." She turned on her heel and walked away, Daniel trailing behind her like a shadow. But as they disappeared into the crowd, Daniel glanced back. Amelia was still on the floor, still staring. And for the first time in months, he felt something cold crawl up his spine. Fear. Because he'd heard that name before. Rowan. Years ago, When they first started dating, Amelia mentioned her older brother once. Ethan said he'd moved away after some business thing. Daniel never asked more, didn't care. But now he remembered something else. A tech conference. 5 years back. A panel discussion about cybersecurity breaches. One of the speakers, a man who'd sold his company for billions, had casually mentioned how he'd destroyed a competitor who tried to steal his data. Not sued, destroyed. The competitor's company collapsed overnight. Accounts frozen, clients gone. The man vanished from the industry entirely. The speaker's name? Ethan Rowan. Daniel's stomach dropped. He stopped walking. Tiffany noticed. "What's wrong?" Her brother. Daniel's voice was barely audible. "I think I know who he is." "So?" Tiffany rolled her eyes. "What's he gonna do? Sue us?" Daniel didn't answer. Because 3 hours later, his phone would stop working. His bank accounts would freeze. And the entire city of Bellevue would go dark. But right now, in this moment, Amelia was still on the marble floor. A security guard finally approached. "Ma'am, do you need help?" She looked up at him. Tears dried on her cheeks. "Call my brother," she whispered. "Ethan Rowan." The guard's face went pale. He knew that name too. 3 hours later, Daniel sat in his home office, tie loosened, whiskey in hand. The mall incident replayed in his mind like a glitch he couldn't delete. Tiffany had left an hour ago, annoyed he wasn't celebrating their victory. His phone buzzed. A text from his CFO. "Systems down. Can't access anything. What's happening?" Daniel frowned. He opened his laptop. Error message. He tried his banking app. Access denied. His work email. Login failed. Across Bellevue, the lights flickered. Traffic signals blinked red, then died. ATMs displayed blank screens. Gas pumps froze mid-transaction. Store registers crashed simultaneously. Within minutes, downtown went dark. Daniel's phone rang. His VP of operations. "Daniel, we've been hacked. Everything's locked. Payroll, client data, internal files gone." "What do you mean gone?" "Encrypted. Whoever did this knows what they're doing. This isn't some random attack. This is surgical." Daniel's hand trembled. "How long to fix it?" "We don't know. Our entire security team is locked out. It's like someone has master access." The call dropped. Daniel tried calling back. No signal. He looked out his window. The city skyline, normally glowing with life, was fading into darkness, building by building, block by block. His doorbell rang. He opened it. A courier stood there, holding an envelope. "Daniel Harper?" "Yes." The courier handed it over and left without a word. Daniel tore it open. Inside, a single photograph. Security footage from Bellevue Mall. Amelia on the ground, Tiffany standing over her, him in the background, watching. No note, no explanation. Just the image. His phone buzzed one last time before dying completely. A text from an unknown number. "You had 3 hours to apologize. You didn't. Now you pay. ER." Ethan Rowan. Daniel's blood went cold. He tried restarting his phone. Nothing. His laptop dead. His smart home system offline. Even his car wouldn't start when he ran to the garage. Everything connected to him was frozen. Across town, Tiffany's social media accounts vanished. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, her followers gone. Her brand deals canceled. Her entire digital existence erased in seconds. Her phone rang once. A blocked number. She answered. "Hello?" Static. Then a voice, calm, cold. "You hurt my sister." Click. The line went dead. Tiffany dropped the phone. Her hands shook. In a penthouse overlooking Bellevue's dying skyline, Ethan Rowan sat in darkness, screens glowing around him, his team working silently in the background. He replayed the mall footage one more time. His jaw clenched. "Phase 2, he said quietly. One of his analysts looked up. "Sir, the city's infrastructure is destabilizing. Emergency services. Reroute them. Hospitals and fire departments stay operational. Everything else stays dark until I say otherwise. And Harper? Ethan's eyes didn't leave the screen. Let him panic. Ethan Rowan wasn't supposed to exist anymore. 5 years ago, he was everywhere. Magazine covers, tech conferences, Forbes lists, the youngest self-made billionaire in cybersecurity. Then he vanished. No interviews, no public appearances, no social media presence. People assumed he'd retired, moved to some private island, maybe died. They were wrong. Ethan had simply realized something most people never learn. Real power doesn't need visibility. It operates in the shadows. He'd built his empire from nothing. Grew up in a cramped apartment in Newark with Amelia. Their father left when she was 3. Their mother worked double shifts just to keep the lights on. Ethan promised himself 2 things. He'd take care of his sister, and he'd never be powerless again. By 22, he'd created encryption software that governments wanted to buy. By 25, he'd sold his company for $8 billion. But money wasn't the prize. Control was. After the sale, Ethan didn't retire. He built something quieter, a network, private security firms, tech infrastructure across major cities, silent partnerships with data brokers and financial institutions. He became the man behind the curtain. Most people didn't know his name. The ones who did feared it. There was a story whispered in tech circles. A competitor once tried stealing Ethan's source code. Within 48 hours, the man's company collapsed, bank accounts frozen, investors gone. His reputation destroyed. He tried suing. The case was dismissed before it reached court. The man disappeared from the industry entirely. Ethan never confirmed the story. He didn't need to. When Amelia got married, Ethan warned her. "If Daniel ever hurts you, tell me immediately." She'd laughed. "He won't. He loves me." Ethan wasn't convinced, but he respected her choice. He kept tabs anyway, quietly, from a distance. He noticed when Daniel started staying late, when the secretary's name appeared too often in company emails, when Amelia stopped calling as much. But Amelia never asked for help. So Ethan waited. Until today. Until he saw the security footage. His baby sister pregnant, bleeding, humiliated on a marble floor while her husband watched and did nothing. Something inside Ethan broke. No, not broke. Sharpened. He stood at the window of his penthouse, watching Bellevue's lights flicker and die like dying stars. His reflection stared back, cold, focused, relentless. He picked up his phone, dialed a number only 12 people in the world had. "It's time," he said quietly. On the other end, a voice responded. "Target? Daniel Harper, Tiffany Brennan, everything they value. Rules of engagement?" Ethan's jaw tightened. No mercy. Have you ever crossed someone without knowing their full story? Drop a comment because this ghost just woke up. Daniel's company was burning. Not literally, worse. Digitally. Monday morning, the office was chaos. Employees crowded around dead monitors, phones useless, email servers gone, customer databases encrypted. His CFO burst into Daniel's office. "We've lost everything. 3 years of client contracts, financial records, proprietary software, all locked behind military-grade encryption." Daniel loosened his tie. "What about backups?" "Compromised. Whoever did this anticipated every failsafe." "How is that possible?" The CFO hesitated. "Daniel, this wasn't random. Someone targeted us specifically. They knew our systems better than we do." Daniel's mind raced back to Saturday, to Amelia's whisper. "You should have told my brother." No, it couldn't be. His desk phone, one of the few still working, rang. He grabbed it. "Mr. Harper?" An unfamiliar voice. "This is Marcus Chen from Apex Investments. We're pulling our funding, effective immediately." "What? Why?" "We received documents showing financial irregularities, embezzlement, falsified earnings reports. We can't be associated." "That's bullshit. Those records are fabricated." "Maybe, but our legal team says we're exposed either way. We're out." Click. 3 more investors called within the hour. Same message, same fear. By noon, Daniel's stock had dropped 40%. Meanwhile, across town, Tiffany stared at her phone in disbelief. Her Instagram deleted. Her brand partnerships emails bouncing back. Her modeling agency voicemail saying they'd decided to go another direction. She called her manager. "What's happening?" "Tiffany, I don't know how to say this, but footage from Saturday went viral. You pushing that pregnant woman? It's everywhere. Brands are dropping you. We can't represent someone with that kind of PR nightmare. It was an accident. The video says otherwise. I'm sorry." The line went dead. Tiffany threw her phone across the room. It shattered against the wall. She grabbed her laptop, tried logging into her accounts. Access denied. Every password changed. Her bank account frozen. Her credit cards declined. She screamed. Then her doorbell rang. She opened it. A process server stood there, holding papers. "Tiffany Brennan?" "Yes. You've been served. Multiple defamation suits, assault charges, civil litigation from—" Tiffany slammed the door. Her hands shook. Her perfectly curated life was collapsing in real time. She tried calling Daniel. No answer. She tried texting. Message failed to send. She was alone. Back at his office, Daniel received one final email before his system crashed completely. Sender, unknown. Subject, empty. Body, your wife asked for mercy. You gave her humiliation. I'm returning the favor. This is just the beginning. ER. Daniel's vision blurred. His chest tightened. He tried replying. System error. His computer screen went black, and in white text, one sentence appeared. You should have apologized. Tuesday morning. The video dropped. Not on one platform, everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook. The same 15-second clip. Crystal clear security footage from Bellevue Mall. Tiffany spilling coffee on Amelia. The shove, the fall, the smirk. Daniel in the background, watching, doing nothing. The caption was simple. Secretary attacks pregnant wife while husband watches. Who are these monsters? Within 2 hours, it had 10 million views. By noon, 20 million. The comments were ruthless. Find them, make them famous. That smirk, she knew exactly what she was doing. The husband is worse, he just stood there. Someone recognized Daniel from his company headshot, posted a link to his LinkedIn. The internet did the rest. Within hours, people identified Tiffany, found her Instagram before it was deleted. Screenshots spread like wildfire. Her modeling photos, her luxury lifestyle, her captions bragging about winning at life. The contrast was devastating. News outlets picked it up, local stations first, then national. Tech executive's wife, attacked by secretary, viral video sparks outrage. Reporters camped outside Daniel's office, outside Tiffany's apartment, microphones thrust at anyone who'd talk. Daniel's employees avoided cameras. Tiffany's neighbors had plenty to say. She was always rude, thought she was better than everyone. I'm not surprised. She had that mean girl energy. The story evolved. Journalists dug deeper. They found Daniel's company financials, leaked documents showing questionable transactions. They found Tiffany's history, 3 previous jobs where she'd been asked to leave. Every ugly detail surfaced. On Wednesday, a major news network aired a segment. They interviewed the teenager who filmed the incident. She pushed her, no question. And the husband? He looked relieved. The anchor's face darkened. Where are they now? Hiding, probably, but the internet doesn't forget. They were right. Daniel couldn't leave his house. Reporters blocked his driveway. Neighbors stared. Someone spray-painted "coward" on his garage door. Tiffany tried wearing sunglasses and a hat to the grocery store. Someone recognized her anyway. You're her, the woman from the video. Tiffany ran. The crowd followed, phones recording. Tiffany Brennan spotted trying to hide, refuses to apologize. Another 1 million views. Her face became a meme, a symbol, the entitled villain everyone loved to hate. Daniel's board called an emergency meeting. "You're toxic. The company can't survive this association. Effective immediately, you're terminated." "You can't." "We already did. Security will escort you out." Daniel stood in the lobby of his own company, boxed belongings in hand, cameras flashing. He'd built this, sacrificed everything. Now it was gone. And somewhere, on a screen in a dark penthouse, Ethan Rowan watched the news coverage. His expression didn't change. His analyst spoke. "Phase 2, complete. They're publicly destroyed." Ethan leaned back. "Good. Now we move to Phase 3. The penthouse was silent, except for the hum of servers. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Bellevue's skyline. Monitors lined the walls, news feeds, security cameras, financial markets, social media trends. Ethan stood at the center of it all, arms crossed, face unreadable. His team worked around him, 8 specialists, the best money could buy, hackers, analysts, investigators, people who understood that power wasn't about force. It was about information. "Status," Ethan said quietly. His lead analyst, Marcus, pulled up a screen. "Daniel Harper's company is hemorrhaging. Stock down 62%. 3 major clients terminated contracts. His board voted him out this morning." "And Tiffany Brennan?" "Blacklisted. Every brand partnership dissolved. Her agency dropped her. She tried booking a flight out of state credit card declined." Ethan nodded. "Good. What about Amelia?" "Hospital released her yesterday. Baby's healthy. She's staying with a friend in Riverside." "She doesn't know I'm involved?" "No, sir. As you requested." Ethan turned back to the window. His reflection stared back cold, focused. This wasn't about glory, it was about justice. The kind courtrooms couldn't deliver. Marcus hesitated. "Sir, the city's infrastructure is destabilizing. Emergency services are operational, but businesses are losing millions. City council is demanding answers." "Let them demand. There's media pressure, conspiracy theories. Some people think it's a cyber-terrorist attack." "Good. Keep them guessing." Another analyst spoke up. "We've identified Daniel's financial records, offshore accounts, embezzlement going back 18 months. He's been funneling company funds into personal investments." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Send everything to the SEC, anonymously." "Already done." "And the mall footage?" "Distributed to every major platform. Forensic enhancement completed. We can prove Tiffany pushed her, no question." Ethan rewatched the video on the main screen, slowed down, frame by frame. Amelia's fall, the blood, the fear in her eyes. His hands clenched. "Phase 3, he said. "I want Daniel to understand what he lost, not just his career, not just his reputation, everything." Marcus pulled up a file. "His assets? Freeze them, all of them. His house? Foreclosure notice today. His car? Repossessed." "Sir, if we push too hard..." Ethan turned. His eyes were ice. "He pushed my pregnant sister onto marble. Too hard doesn't exist." The room went silent. Marcus nodded. "Understood." Ethan looked back at the city, lights flickering like dying embers. "Let him feel what powerlessness tastes like," he whispered. Then we moved to the final phase. Thursday morning, Daniel woke to sirens. Not police, worse. News vans, dozens of them, blocking his street, cameras pointed at his front door. He grabbed his phone, 53 missed calls, hundreds of emails. One subject line caught his eye. "SEC investigation announced." His blood went cold. The article loaded slowly, each word a knife. "Federal investigators have opened a probe into Daniel Harper's tech firm, following anonymous tips about financial fraud. Documents leaked online show evidence of embezzlement, falsified earnings, and offshore accounts totaling $4.2 million. Daniel's hands shook. Those accounts were private, encrypted, untraceable. How did they... His doorbell rang, aggressive, repeated. He looked through the peephole. 2 federal agents, badges visible. He didn't open the door. They knocked harder. "Mr. Harper, we have a warrant. Open up or we're coming in." Daniel backed away. His mind raced. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. His lawyer called. "Daniel, don't say anything. I'm on my way. But I have to tell you this looks bad. Really bad. I didn't do this. The evidence says otherwise. Bank transfers, signatures, email trails. It all points to you. Someone's framing me." "Who? And why would they have access to your private accounts?" Daniel had no answer. Because deep down, he knew. Ethan Rowan. The agents broke through his door. Daniel was handcuffed in his own living room. Cameras captured everything. The footage went live within minutes. Tech executive arrested for fraud, wife's attacker faces federal charges. The narrative was complete. Daniel wasn't just cruel, he was criminal. By noon, his face was everywhere. Not as a rising tech star, as a villain. His bail hearing was set for Monday, but his lawyer was already preparing him. "Even if you're acquitted, your reputation is destroyed. No one will hire you. No one will invest in you." Daniel sat in the holding cell, cold, alone. Everything he'd built, gone. His company, his career, his freedom. And for what? An affair? A moment of cowardice? He thought about Amelia, the way she looked at him Saturday. Not angry, just disappointed. She'd whispered a warning. He'd ignored it. Now he understood. Her brother wasn't just powerful. He was untouchable. Across town, news outlets received another anonymous leak. This time, a bombshell. Source claims Daniel Harper's wife was the whistleblower who exposed his crimes. It wasn't true. Amelia had done nothing. But the story stuck. Headlines erupted. Pregnant wife gets revenge, turns husband into feds. The public loved it. Justice served by the victim herself. Amelia didn't see the news. She was resting at her friend's house, unaware her name was being praised across the internet. Ethan made sure of that. He wanted her protected, hidden from the chaos. While Daniel's world burned to ash, Amelia hadn't watched the news in days. She couldn't. Every channel reminded her of Saturday. The fall, the humiliation, the pain that still radiated through her ribs when she breathed too deeply. Her friend Claire had taken her in. A small house in Riverside, quiet, safe. "You should eat something," Claire said, setting down soup. Amelia shook her head. "I'm not hungry. The baby needs—" "I know." Amelia touched her belly. I can't stop thinking about it." Claire sat beside her. "Have you talked to Daniel?" "No, he's tried calling. I blocked him." "Good. He doesn't deserve you." Amelia's eyes filled with tears. "I stayed so long. I thought he'd change. I thought love was supposed to be hard. Love isn't supposed to hurt like this." Amelia nodded. She knew that now. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Are you safe?" She frowned, typed back, "Who is this?" "Someone who cares. Don't go online. Don't watch the news. Just rest. Everything's being handled." Amelia stared at the screen. The message felt familiar, protective. Then it clicked. "Ethan?" No response. She tried calling the number. Disconnected. Claire noticed her expression. "What's wrong?" I think my brother's involved." "Involved how?" Amelia wasn't sure. But the timing was too perfect. Daniel's company collapsing. Tiffany's accounts disappearing. The city's blackout. Ethan had disappeared 5 years ago. Said he wanted peace, privacy. But Amelia knew him better than that. Her brother didn't do peace. He did precision. She opened her laptop despite the warning. Searched Daniel's name. The headlines made her gasp. Tech executive arrested for fraud. Secretary blacklisted after viral attack. Pregnant wife exposes husband's crimes. Wait, that last one. She clicked it. The article claimed she'd turned Daniel in, provided evidence to federal investigators. But she hadn't. She'd done nothing. Amelia closed the laptop. Her hands trembled. This wasn't her. This was Ethan. He'd promised her once. years ago after their mother died. No one hurts you and walks away. She'd laughed it off then, thought he was being dramatic. Now she understood. Ethan hadn't forgotten. He'd been watching, waiting. And when Daniel crossed the line, Ethan erased it. Amelia should have felt relieved, vindicated. Instead, she felt empty. Justice was happening around her, through her name, but not by her hand. She didn't want revenge. She wanted peace. She wanted her baby to grow up in a world where love didn't break you. Claire touched her shoulder. "You okay?" Amelia wiped her eyes. "I don't know." Outside, the world was celebrating her strength. Inside, she just felt tired. Her phone buzzed again. "Rest. I've got this. E." Amelia exhaled slowly. She knew her brother. Once he started something, he finished it. And Daniel's nightmare was only beginning. Tiffany's apartment was falling apart. Not the building, her. Eviction notice taped to her door. Rent 3 months overdue. Her landlord had stopped returning calls. Her savings account drained by legal fees and frozen assets she couldn't access. She sat on her couch in yesterday's clothes, curtains drawn, phone face down on the coffee table. She couldn't look at it anymore. Every notification was hatred, death threats, strangers finding her address, posting it online. Someone had thrown a brick through her window 2 nights ago. The glass still crunched under her feet. She tried leaving, packed a bag, called her parents in Ohio. Her mother answered on the 3rd ring. "Tiffany? Mom, I need to come home, just for a few weeks until I saw the video." Silence. "Mom, it wasn't." Don't lie to me. I raised you better than that." She was in my way. Daniel was mine, and she was pregnant, and you pushed her. Tiffany's throat tightened. "It was an accident." "The whole country saw it, Tiffany. It wasn't an accident." "So you're taking her side?" Her mother's voice cracked. "I'm ashamed. Your father won't even say your name." Click. Tiffany threw the phone across the room. It shattered against the wall. She screamed, sobbed, clawed at her hair. This wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to win. Daniel was supposed to leave Amelia. They were supposed to be together. Instead, she had nothing. No career, no money, no future. Her face was a meme, a punchline, a warning. She tried posting an apology video, tears streaming, voice shaking. "I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking clearly. Please." The comments were vicious. Fake tears. "She's only sorry she got caught. She belongs in jail. Apology not accepted. Rot." She deleted it within an hour. Her lawyer called that afternoon. "Tiffany, we need to talk about the civil suits." "How many?" 7. Defamation, assault, emotional distress, the hospital bills alone. "I don't have money for this." "Then you need to settle, or file bankruptcy." Bankruptcy. At 28. Her phone buzzed. A blocked number. She almost didn't answer. "Hello?" Static. Then a voice. Cold. Unfamiliar. "Tiffany Brennan? Who is this?" "Someone you should have thought about before you hurt his sister." Her blood froze. "What do you... You thought you could take everything from her. Now you know how it feels." "Please, I'm sorry. I'll apologize. I'll do anything." Too late. The line went dead. Tiffany dropped the phone. Her hands shook violently. She looked around her destroyed apartment, her destroyed life, and realized something terrifying. This wasn't ending. Whoever was doing this, they weren't done. They were just getting started. Daniel made bail Friday afternoon. His lawyer had pulled strings, called in favors, posted the $100,000 bond using his parents' house as collateral. They didn't speak to him afterward. He walked out of the courthouse into a wall of cameras, reporters shouting questions, microphones thrust in his face. "Mr. Harper, did you embezzle funds? Will you apologize to your wife? What do you say to people calling you a coward?" Daniel shoved through them. No comment, no eye contact. His lawyer's car waited at the curb, engine running. Daniel climbed in. The door shut. Silence. "Where to?" his lawyer asked. "I need to see Amelia." "Bad idea. I need to explain." "Explain what? That you watched your mistress attack your pregnant wife." Daniel flinched. I froze. I didn't know what to do. "The jury won't care. The public doesn't care. And neither will she." "I have to try." His lawyer sighed. "She has a restraining order pending. If you go near her, I'll risk it." Daniel pulled out his phone. It still worked barely. Most of his accounts were locked, but he could still text. He typed carefully. "Amelia, please, I need to talk. Just 5 minutes. I'm sorry for everything." He waited. 1 minute, 2, 5. No response. He tried again. "I know I don't deserve it, but please, let me explain." Still nothing. Then, finally, 3 dots appeared. She was typing. His heart pounded. The message came through. "There's nothing to explain. You made your choice." Daniel's hands trembled. "It was a mistake. I was confused. I love you." The dots appeared again, disappeared, appeared. "You loved her more." Daniel stared at the screen. Tears blurred his vision. "That's not true. I'll fix this. I'll make it right." No response. He called. Straight to voicemail. He called again, blocked. His lawyer glanced over. "She's done with you. She's my wife. On paper. But you lost her the second you stood there and did nothing." Daniel leaned back, closed his eyes. He'd lost everything. His company, his reputation, his freedom. But losing Amelia hurt most. Not because he loved her. If he was honest, he wasn't sure he ever did. But because she was the last piece of his old life. The life where he was someone. Now he was nobody. His phone buzzed. A new message. Unknown number. "Stop contacting her. Final warning." Daniel's stomach dropped. "Who is this?" The response was instant. "Her brother. And if you try seeing her, you'll regret it." Daniel's chest tightened. "I just want to talk." "You had months to talk. You chose silence. Now live with it." Another message followed. "But if you insist, meet me. Tomorrow. Noon. Riverside General Hospital. Come alone." Daniel stared at the screen. This was a trap. It had to be. But he didn't care. He needed answers. He needed closure. He needed to see what kind of man could destroy his entire life in 5 days. He typed back. "I'll be there. Saturday. Noon. Riverside General Hospital." Daniel arrived early. Hands in pockets. Hoodie pulled low. The lobby was busy. Families. Nurses. No one recognized him. He found a chair near the entrance. Waited. 12:03. A black sedan pulled up outside. A man stepped out. Tall, sharp suit, calm expression. Ethan Rowan. Daniel's breath caught. He'd seen photos online, old ones. But this man looked different. Harder. Colder. Ethan walked through the sliding doors, scanned the lobby, found Daniel immediately. Their eyes met. Ethan approached, unhurried, controlled. Daniel stood. "You're him." "I am." Silence. Daniel swallowed. "I came to apologize." "To me?" "To Amelia. But you won't let me near her." "Correct." "Why?" Ethan's expression didn't change. "Because you don't deserve access to her. She's my wife. On paper. In reality, you abandoned her the moment it mattered." Daniel's jaw clenched. "I made a mistake. You made a choice." I froze. I didn't know what to do. Ethan stepped closer. His voice dropped. "Lethal. My sister was 7 months pregnant, bleeding on marble, and you stood there." Daniel looked away. "You didn't freeze," Ethan continued. "You calculated. You weighed your options, your mistress, your wife. You chose." "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" Daniel had no answer. Ethan's eyes were ice. "You humiliated her publicly. You let another woman attack her. You made her feel worthless." "I'm sorry." "Sorry doesn't rebuild what you destroyed." Daniel's voice cracked. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing. You have nothing left to take." "Then why am I here?" Ethan leaned in, close enough Daniel could see the fury barely contained. So you understand. This wasn't random. This wasn't bad luck. This was me. Daniel's stomach turned. Every account frozen. Every investor gone. Every headline. Every arrest. Me. You destroyed my life. No, you destroyed your life. I just made sure everyone saw it. Security appeared nearby, 2 guards, watching. Ethan straightened. My sister is upstairs, 3rd floor, room 312. She's resting. Daniel's heart jumped. Can I? No, but I wanted you to know she's close, safe, protected. Ethan turned to leave. Daniel called after him. What happens now? Ethan paused, looked back. You rebuild, from nothing, like she had to. And if I can't? Then you learn what powerlessness feels like. Ethan walked toward the elevator, pressed the button. The doors opened. Before stepping in, he said one final thing. She never wanted revenge, but I did. The doors closed. Daniel stood alone in the lobby, broken, destroyed, and finally understanding the cost of his choices. Sunday morning, Bellevue began to wake. Slowly, cautiously. Power grids flickered online. ATMs displayed balance screens. Traffic lights cycled through red, yellow, green. The blackout was ending. But the damage remained. Businesses had lost millions. Banks scrambled to restore accounts. City officials demanded investigations. Nobody had answers. The FBI launched a probe. Cybersecurity experts analyzed the attack. They found nothing. No malware, no breach points, no digital fingerprints. Just silence. As if the systems had simply decided to stop. And then, just as mysteriously, decided to start again. One analyst told reporters, "This wasn't a hack. This was control. Someone had master access to everything." Who? We don't know. But whoever did this could have done far worse. The city exhaled, relieved but shaken. People returned to work. Stores reopened. Life resumed. But whispers lingered. In boardrooms, coffee shops, street corners. Did you hear about that tech guy? The one whose wife got attacked? Yeah. His company collapsed the same week the city went dark. Coincidence? Nothing's a coincidence anymore. Daniel's name became legend, a cautionary tale. The man who had everything. Lost it all. In 5 days. Tiffany's face remained a meme, a symbol of cruelty punished. But Amelia? She became something else. A hero, a survivor, a woman who stood up, even though she hadn't. The narrative stuck anyway. News outlets ran features, how one woman's courage brought down a corrupt executive. Think pieces flooded online, the power of standing up to abuse. Amelia never did interviews, never corrected the story. She stayed hidden, healing. Ethan made sure of it. His team scrubbed her location from databases, rerouted inquiries, protected her privacy with the same precision he'd used to destroy Daniel. In his penthouse, Ethan watched the city lights return, one by one, block by block. Marcus approached. "Sir, systems are fully restored. No traces left." "Good. The FBI's investigation?" "Will go nowhere. We made sure of it." Marcus hesitated. "There's been speculation. Some people are connecting dots. Let them speculate. They'll never prove anything. And if they do..." Ethan's expression didn't change. "They won't." He pulled up a final file. Daniel's financial status. Bank accounts, frozen. Credit, destroyed. Assets, seized. Employment prospects, 0. Everything Daniel valued gone. "Phase 4 complete," Marcus said. Ethan nodded. He'd promised his sister once, "No one hurts you and walks away." He'd kept that promise. Daniel wasn't in jail, wasn't dead. He was worse. Erased. A ghost in his own city, recognized but irrelevant, known but powerless. Living proof that some battles aren't fought with fists. They're fought with information, access, control. And Ethan Rowan controlled everything. He closed the file. "It's done," he said quietly. Marcus left. Ethan stood alone, watching Bellevue glow beneath him. The city that had watched his sister fall. The city he'd frozen in response. The city that would never forget what happens when you cross the wrong family. He picked up his phone, sent one final message. "You're safe now. Always. E." Then he deleted the number. His work was finished. Tiffany left Bellevue on a Tuesday. One suitcase, a bus ticket to nowhere, $200 in cash. Everything else was gone. Her apartment evicted, her car repossessed, her life unrecognizable. She wore sunglasses and a baseball cap, kept her head down, prayed nobody would recognize her. At the bus station, a woman stared. Tiffany turned away quickly. "You're her," the woman said, loud enough for others to hear. Heads turned. The one from the video. Tiffany grabbed her suitcase, walked faster. "Hey, I'm talking to you." She didn't look back. She boarded the bus, found a seat in the back, pressed her face against the window. The woman followed her with her eyes until the bus pulled away. Tiffany exhaled, hands shaking. This was her life now, running, hiding. The bus rolled through 3 states. She got off in a small town in Missouri, population 4,000. Anonymous. Forgettable. She found a motel. $40 a night. Peeling wallpaper. Stained carpet. She lay on the bed, stared at the ceiling. Her phone buzzed. A notification from a job site. She'd applied to 23 positions. Retail, food service, cleaning. The email loaded. "Thank you for your interest. Unfortunately, we've decided to move forward with other candidates." The same message she'd received from the other 22. Her name was Poison. A quick Google search showed why. Her face, the video. Articles calling her the secretary who attacked a pregnant woman. Employers Googled candidates. They always did. And when they Googled Tiffany Brennan, they found a monster. She tried using her middle name on applications. Didn't help. Someone always connected the dots. 3 weeks later, she was working under the table at a diner. Cash only. No questions asked. Washing dishes, mopping floors, 12-hour shifts for $8 an hour. The owner knew who she was, didn't care. "Everyone deserves a second chance," he said. Tiffany wasn't sure she believed him. One afternoon, a couple came in, mid-30s. The woman was pregnant. Tiffany froze in the kitchen doorway. The woman laughed at something her husband said. He touched her belly gently, kissed her forehead. Tiffany's chest tightened. She thought about Daniel, about Amelia, about the mall, about how badly she'd wanted to win, and what winning had cost her. The pregnant woman glanced toward the kitchen, made eye contact with Tiffany, smiled. Tiffany looked away, tears burning her eyes. That night, she sat in her motel room, stared at her reflection in the cracked mirror. She barely recognized herself. The designer clothes gone, the confidence shattered, the cruelty still there, but quieter now, buried under shame. Her phone buzzed, a blocked number. She almost didn't answer. "Hello?" Silence, then breathing. "Please," Tiffany whispered. "Please, just leave me alone." The voice that responded was calm, final. "This is your second chance. Don't waste it." Click. Tiffany dropped the phone. She understood now. This wasn't ending. This was her life. Forever. 3 weeks after the hospital confrontation, Amelia went into labor. Claire drove her to Riverside General, midnight, rain pouring. "You're going to be okay," Claire said, gripping her hand. Amelia nodded, breathed through the contractions. She'd spent weeks preparing for this. Nursery items, baby clothes, names written on scraps of paper. But she'd done it alone. Daniel wasn't coming. She'd made that clear. Ethan had offered to be there. She'd declined. "This is my moment," she'd told him. "Mine and my son's." He understood. The delivery took 6 hours. Painful, exhausting, beautiful. When the nurse placed her baby boy in her arms, Amelia cried. Not from pain, from relief. He was healthy, perfect, hers. He's beautiful, Claire whispered. Amelia traced her finger along his tiny hand. He gripped it instinctively. Connor, she said softly. His name is Connor. The nurses smiled, took photos, left them alone. Amelia held her son close, whispered promises. I'll protect you. I'll teach you kindness. I'll show you what love really means. Connor yawned. His eyes fluttered closed. Amelia kissed his forehead. Outside her room, the hospital buzzed with whispers. That's her. The woman from the video. She had the baby? Yeah, heard she's doing it alone. Good for her. Amelia heard none of it. She was lost in her son's face. The next morning, a delivery arrived, a single white envelope. Claire brought it in. Someone left this at the nurse's station. Amelia opened it carefully. Inside a small bracelet, silver, engraved with 2 words. Justice served. No note, no signature. But Amelia knew. She slipped the bracelet onto her wrist, felt its weight. Ethan had kept his promise. She'd never asked him to, never wanted revenge. But he'd given it anyway. Because that's what family did. 2 days later, Amelia was discharged. Claire helped her into the car, Connor sleeping peacefully in his carrier. Where to? Claire asked. Amelia looked at the hospital, at the city skyline beyond. Bellevue, the place where she'd been humiliated, broken. The place where her life had shattered. Home, Amelia said quietly. Claire frowned. You sure? Yeah, I'm not running anymore. They drove through downtown, past the mall, past Daniel's old office building. Amelia didn't look away. She wasn't afraid. That afternoon, she walked through Bellevue Mall. Connor strapped to her chest, head high. People stared, whispered. Some smiled. One woman approached, older, kind eyes. You're very brave, she said. Amelia shook her head. I'm just a mother. That's the bravest thing to be. The woman walked away. Amelia continued through the mall, past the coffee shop, past the spot where she'd fallen. She paused, looked down at the marble floor. It looked different now, just stone, nothing more. The memory didn't hurt as much. She adjusted Connor's blanket, kept walking. Outside, the sun broke through clouds. Amelia smiled. She'd survived. Her son was healthy. Her future was hers. And somewhere across town, her brother was watching, making sure she stayed safe. Always. 1 month later, Bellevue returned to normal. Traffic flowed smoothly. Businesses thrived. The blackout became a distant memory. Investigators closed their case. Unexplained technical anomaly, they concluded. No suspects, no answers. The city moved on. But some things had changed permanently. Daniel Harper's name remained a cautionary tale, his face a warning. Tiffany Brennan disappeared entirely. Rumors said she'd left the state. Nobody cared enough to confirm. Amelia Rowan became a local legend, the woman who survived, who stood up, who won. She never corrected the narrative. One Saturday afternoon, Amelia returned to Bellevue Mall. Connor was 2 months old now, alert, curious. She pushed his stroller through the main corridor, past boutiques, past the coffee shop. Nobody stared this time. She was just another mother, shopping, living. She stopped near the fountain, the spot where everything changed. The marble looked the same, polished, clean, but it didn't haunt her anymore. You okay? Claire asked, joining her. Amelia nodded. Yeah, I really am. They grabbed coffee, sat on a bench, watched people pass. Normal, peaceful. Amelia's phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Proud of you, E. She smiled, typed back. Thank you, for everything. The reply came instantly. Always. Then the number disconnected, like always. Ethan never stayed visible, never needed credit. He just protected, watched, disappeared. That evening, Amelia walked through her neighborhood, Connor sleeping against her chest. The houses glowed warmly, families inside, laughter echoing. She thought about Daniel, where he was, what he was doing. She'd heard through mutual friends he'd moved to another state, working construction, living paycheck to paycheck, starting over from nothing. She didn't feel satisfaction or pity, just distance. He was someone she used to know. A chapter closed. Connor stirred, made a soft sound. Amelia kissed his head, kept walking. Her future wasn't defined by what happened, by who hurt her. It was defined by these quiet moments, this peace. She'd survived humiliation, betrayal, public cruelty, and came out stronger. Not because of revenge, but because she chose to keep living. She reached her apartment, unlocked the door. Inside, baby toys scattered across the floor, laundry waiting, dishes in the sink. Normal chaos, beautiful chaos. She laid Connor in his crib, watched him sleep. Outside her window, the city lights sparkled. Bellevue, the place that witnessed her fall and her rise. She touched the silver bracelet on her wrist. Justice served. Not the justice she'd wanted, but the justice she'd needed. Amelia turned off the light. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new joys. But tonight she was simply grateful. For her son, her safety, her second chance. And for a brother who loved her enough to fight battles she never asked him to fight. She whispered into the darkness, "Thank you, Ethan." Somewhere across town, in a penthouse overlooking the city, Ethan heard nothing. But he knew. He always knew. 6 months after the fall, Ethan stood on his penthouse balcony. The city glowed beneath him, alive, thriving. No one knew what he'd done. No investigation came close. He'd moved through Bellevue like a ghost, left no traces, no proof, just consequences. His phone showed a photo Amelia had sent earlier, Connor laughing, bright eyes, pure joy. Ethan saved it, set it as his lock screen. This was why he'd done it. Not for glory, not for satisfaction. For her. Marcus approached from behind. "Sir, final report on Harper and Brennan." Ethan didn't turn. "Go ahead." Harper's working construction in Idaho, living in a studio apartment, no savings, no prospects. He tried applying to tech firms, rejected everywhere. And Brennan? Still in Missouri, diner work. Uses her middle name now, keeps to herself. No social media, no attempts to return. Ethan nodded slowly. They're ghosts. Essentially, both erased from their former lives. Good. Marcus hesitated. Do you ever wonder if it was too much? Ethan finally turned. His expression was calm, final. They attacked a pregnant woman, publicly, cruelly, while her husband watched. I know, but... There is no but. Some lines can't be uncrossed. Marcus nodded, understanding. Ethan looked back at the city. People think revenge is about anger. It's not. It's about balance. Balance. They took everything from her. Her dignity, her safety, her peace. I simply returned the favor. Without her asking. She didn't need to ask. She's my sister. The wind picked up. Cool. Refreshing. Ethan's phone buzzed. Another text from Amelia. Connor said his first word today. Mama. Wish you were here to hear it. Ethan smiled. Rare. Genuine. He typed back. I'm always there, even when you don't see me. Her response came quickly. I know. Love you, big brother. Love you too. He pocketed his phone. Marcus cleared his throat. What now? Any other projects? No, we're done here. Completely? Completely. Ethan walked to the edge of the balcony, gripped the railing. Below, people moved through their lives, unaware, safe. That's how it should be. Power wasn't meant to be seen. It was meant to protect. And he'd protected what mattered most. His sister, her future, her son. The rest? Just noise. Ethan turned away from the view, headed inside. Pack everything, he told Marcus. We're leaving Bellevue. Where to? Wherever Amelia needs me next. Marcus smiled. Understood. The penthouse went dark. The servers powered down. Within hours, Ethan Rowan vanished again. No trace, no goodbye. Just the echo of justice served. And in a small apartment across town, Amelia rocked Connor to sleep. She didn't know her brother had left, but she felt safer anyway. Because some protectors don't need to be seen. They just need to be there. Always watching. Always ready. The story spread through Bellevue for years. A whispered legend about a secretary who attacked the wrong woman, a husband who chose the wrong side, and a brother who reminded them, karma doesn't forget. It logs in. What would you have done if this was your family? Drop your answer below because sometimes revenge doesn't need noise, just timing.